Sharpe's Prey by Bernard Cornwell. Read by Paul McGann. Mr. Brown and Mr. Belling, the one fat and the other thin, sat side by side and stared solemnly at the green-jacketed army officer across the table, and neither liked what they saw. Their visitor was a tall man with black hair, a hard face and a scar on his cheek. Mr. Brown sighed. The officer glowered. Above a blackened hearth hung a cavalry sabre, the only decoration in the panelled office of Messrs. Belling and Brown of Cheapside, army agents. Alas, Mr. Brown spread his hands, alas. It is the nature of your commission, Mr. Belling explained. It's as good as anyone else's commission, the officer said belligerently. Oh, better, Mr. Belling said enthusiastically, far better. A battlefield commission, Mr. Sharpe, upon my soul, but that's a rare thing, rare and admirable. But it is not, Mr. Brown spoke delicately, fungible. Fungible? Lieutenant Richard Sharpe asked. The commission cannot be exchanged for cash, Mr. Belling explained. You did not buy it. What the king gives you may give back, but you cannot sell. It is not, he paused, fungible. Lieutenant Sharpe started forward in his chair as though to attack them, and checked himself. Sharpe had saved Sir Arthur Wellesley's life in India, and this commission had been his reward. And all Sharpe wanted was to sell the lieutenancy for the £550 it was worth, and get out of the army. You're saying I'm buggered? Sharpe asked angrily. We are saying, Mr. Sharpe, that we cannot assist you, Mr. Brown said severely. It was not their fault he couldn't sell his commission. It was the rules. The rich could make more money and the poor could go to hell. Sharpe stood, and the clatter of his sabre scabbard on the chair made Mr. Brown wince. Sharpe draped a damp greatcoat round his shoulders, crammed a shako into his unruly hair, and picked up his pack. Good day, he said curtly, then ducked out of the door. Mr. Belling let out a sigh of relief. You know who that was, Mr. Brown? He announced himself as Lieutenant Sharpe of the 95th Rifles, Mr. Brown said. The very same officer who cohabited with Lady Grace Hale. Mr. Brown's eyes widened. Upon my soul, he said softly. The scandal had been whispered throughout London. How the widowed Lady Grace had moved into a house with a common soldier. True, the common soldier had earned a battlefield promotion, which was entirely admirable, but even so. The daughter of the Earl of Selby living with a common soldier, and not just living with him, but having his baby. Though the Hale family claimed the dead husband had been the child's father. Grace, Sharpe thought. Grace, God help me, Grace. The anger was welling inside him, thick and dark. Some snotty child with a rich father could sell his rank, but a real soldier who'd fought his way up could not. Bugger them. Sharpe wanted to vent his desperate anger, to hurt someone, anyone. So he walked towards the tower, along a street that stank of the river, coal smoke and horse dung. He turned down Tower Hill, where a pair of red-coated sentries at the tower's gate pretended not to see him. But Sharpe didn't care if they saluted him or not. He was a failure. A bloody quartermaster. He didn't care if he never saw the army again. He'd come from a red-coated regiment in India, and had been placed in the Greenjackets, the Rifles. But then Grace had gone, and everything went wrong. Yet Sharpe didn't understand why he had failed. The Rifles were a new kind of regiment, prizing skill and intelligence above blind discipline. They worked hard and encouraged the men to think for themselves. Officers trained with the men, and the hours other regiments wasted in pipe-claying, the Greenjackets spent in rifle practice. And Sharpe had been recommended to it. I hear you're just the sort of officer we want, Colonel Beckwith had greeted Sharpe, and the welcome was heartfelt, for Sharpe brought a wealth of recent experience in battle. But in the end they didn't want him. He didn't fit. And after Grace he'd become bitter. So the colonel had taken him from No. 3 Company and put him in charge of the stores. Now the regiment had marched away to fight somewhere abroad, and Sharpe had been left behind, a damn barracks cleaner. So he'd run. Except he couldn't
Sample complete. Ready to continue?